This is Clarence Hill with Charean Williams coming to you from the final week of the regular season, Christmas week out here at Valley Ranch. It's Christmas Eve. The Cowboys have practice today and tomorrow. This is the regular week for the Cowboys because they have the season finale against the Redskins to finish off the improbable, possible 12-4 season for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and they're going to play their starters this week, even though this game is virtually meaningless. The only way it means anything is if Green Bay and Detroit tie, but that doesn't matter to the Cowboys. They're going to play for the win. Garrett says he's going to keep his players in the game, and they need to keep that momentum going. More than likely, they will play the weekend of January 3rd and 4th, probably against the loser of the Green Bay-Detroit game. And even though they're only 4-4, you got to like the chances the way they're playing right now.
Yeah, and Garrett, this is not a veteran team that has a lot of playoff experience. Certainly, this is their first time in the playoffs since 2009. Many of the members of this team weren't on the Cowboys then. You only got a handful of guys like Whitten and Romo and Scandrick, some guys, Anthony Spencer over here. So they need to stay sharp. They can't turn it on and turn it off. There's no memory bank of success of being able to turn on and turn it off with this team. He wants to keep them sharp, so he's going to play them for this in this season finale so they can get ready for the playoffs. But again, it's chancy because the Redskins, are a team that's chomping at the bit to finish off their season strong and also ruin the Cowboys' season. Remember, the last two times Tony Romo's played the Redskins, he's been knocked out of the game with injury. Certainly last year, it was the back injury, the herniated disc, and he missed the season finale because of that. And this year, in the loss at Cowboys Stadium, he had broke two bones in his back. So it's a chance game for them to play Romo against this Redskins team that's going to be chomping at the bit.
Two things we're going to be watching. Romo has a chance to lead the league in completion percentage and average yards per pass, and as well as passer rating, which is huge, going against Aaron Rodgers for that passer rating title. Nick Foles was the winner of it last year, but that's one thing we're going to be watching just to see how he finishes off this year. A great year for Tony Romo. And the other one, both in the MVP conversation now and Offensive Player of the Year conversation, DeMarco Murray needs 29 yards to break Emmitt Smith's team rushing record from 1995, 1,773 yards. Looks like he'll have a chance to do that.
Yeah, how ironic is that? Here's DeMarco Murray, a guy who has been gripped and criticized for being injury-prone and not being able to stay healthy. He plays through a broken finger to play last week in the NFC title clincher game against the Colts. He's going to play in the season finale, play 16 games, and get Emmitt Smith's record, and that's fitting for him.
We have to talk about the Pro Bowl. 6 Pro Bowlers selected for the Cowboys. I thought that was about right. A little bit of controversy that Jason Witten didn't make the Pro Bowl. Still could be an injury replacement. Dan Bailey didn't make a Pro Bowl, even though he's the most accurate kicker in NFL history. He has yet to make a Pro Bowl in his career. Can't really talk about anybody on the defensive side, so 6 was probably about right. I think the most significant thing was that they had 3 offensive linemen make the Pro Bowl, all 3 first-round draft picks. It says something about how well they've drafted.
There's no doubt. And to the victors go the spoils, and the Cowboys had a successful season, and that's reflected in the Pro Bowl nominations now. They had 6. I thought maybe they should have gotten 8 with Dan Bailey and Jason Witten. Jason Witten probably will get added later as the injury replacement if the Cowboys don't make the Super Bowl. But again, yes, getting 3 offensive linemen. The offensive line has been a focal point of this season. That's the foundation of what they've rebuilt this team. They rebuilt things up front with those 3 first-round picks, and certainly that reinforces that they're building in the right direction, and what they were doing was sound and correct. Certainly not picking Johnny Manziel, everybody talked about, and going with Zach Martin this year.
Huge for the Cowboys. Not a huge game this week, but we will have a huge game probably in 2 weeks. If they get the bye, obviously it'll be 3 weeks, which they hope to get, but that's relying on a Green Bay-Detroit tie, which I don't think we're going to be talking about that. So we'll probably be back with you next week talking about the Cowboys' first playoff game. For Clarence Hill, I'm Charean Williams. Merry Christmas. Talking Cowboys again on Sunday.